This
Chandra, is
conference will now be recorded.
All right. Okay. So let me share my screen. Chandra, I think it's getting recorded. Oh, he left. Okay, fine. I think it's recording. So where are we? So, so we have completed the clusters module. Now we are going to see a new interesting concept that is called client server architecture in IBM MQ. So before going to see about the client server architecture, let me tell you one thing. So let me open the PPT. Okay, so we'll follow this PPT. So the client server architecture. So in this session, we are going to understand about how does an application can connect to a queue manager in a real world scenario. So the thing is, till now, what we have done is in our lab environment, we created a queue manager in a server and we created a local queue, and from the same server, we are going to execute AMQS put program or AMQS get program to put and get the messages. So your queue manager is on the same server and your application AMQS put and AMQS get applications are also on the same server. But in real time, the scenario won't be like this. So in real time, it's a complete different scenario. So there is a process that an application can connect to MQ and put a message on a queue. So let's deal that. So in real world scenario, the application runs in one server and the queue manager runs on a different server. So application that wants to connect to MQ, it will run on an application server, which is handled by the developer. And the MQ server where the queue manager is running, that is managed by us. So that is running on a different server. So the client which is running on a different server is going to run on a queue manager which is running on a different server. So that's how in real world scenario. So in real-time projects, 95% of the cases, the application and the queue manager, they never run on the same server. So they will definitely run on a different servers. So the application and the queue manager can run on, okay. So if the application and the queue manager run on the same machine, then it is not at all a good architecture design. It's really a bad architecture. So there would be a lot of issues involved if the application and the queue manager run on the same server, which we are going to see the problems in the next slides. So first of all, if an application wants to put a message in a queue, then it is application responsibility to establish a connection to the queue manager, connects to the queue, and then put and get the message to the queue. So obviously, it's application responsibility. They have to establish a connection to the queue manager, and it has to connect to the queue, and it has to put the message in the queue. So application can connect to a queue manager in two ways. So for MQ, if application wants to connect to a queue manager, there are two ways. They are binding mode connectivity, client mode connectivity. So these are the only two methods that are available in MQ that a client, an application can connect to a queue manager. So let's see what is a binding mode connectivity first. So in binding
sir,
mode,
one question here. Yeah, I mean, here in this example, client server architecture, the application refers to the business application which are installed on middleware platform like website application servers.
Yes, exactly. WebSphere application servers. Okay. So WebSphere application servers handles the they manage the application only. So how does application connect to MQ? That is what we are going to discuss in the client server architecture.
Okay. Because in that console I used to see that WebSphere MQ server, no? That is why I asked the question.
Okay, fine. So the thing is that application could be anything. It could be handled by WebSphere, it could be handled by Apache or HTTP, JBoss, whatever it is. Or it is developed by developer completely from the scratch through Python program or Java program or .NET code, whatever it is, completely to the application people, how they design the application. It's not our responsibility. Their application, they have to take care of it. and they have to connect to our MQ. That's it. So how does that application connects to MQ is two types: binding mode connectivity and client mode connectivity. So in binding mode, the application and the queue manager run on the same machine. It means till now we are using AMQS put and AMQS get program, right? So the queue manager running on the same machine, and the AMQS put and AMQS get, these programs are also lies on the same machine. So it's a binding mode connectivity. So till now we are working on binding mode connectivity. So application can directly issue a simple AMQS put or AMQS get command for putting and getting the messages. But in client mode, the application run in one server and the queue manager runs on a different server. So they both are segregated each other. So the server where the application is running, that server is called application server. It means only application is running on the server and nothing else. The server where the queue manager is running, that is called MQ server. So only MQ is running in that particular machine. So if the application wants to connect to a queue manager that runs in a different server, then MQ server environment variable has to be set on the application server. So the new thing we are going to learn here today's session is MQ server environment variable. So this is the main thing. So in the application server, we have to set an MQ environment variable. In that environment variable, we are going to declare the variables like which queue manager you want to connect, which server the queue manager lies, what is the channel name you are using to connect. So everything we are going to set through this environment variable, so that application server can understand, okay, so these are my connection parameters, and by using this connection parameter which is declared in my MQ server environment variable, I have to establish a connection to my queue manager. So how to set this MQ server environment variable? Yes, we are going to see that. So before that, let's see what are the problems with the binding mode connectivity. So like the thing is, let's put the application in binding mode connectivity. What's wrong with it? So let's see that. For example, I have a server. Let's assume this is a Linux server, the entire rectangle, right? It's in a server. In this server, for example, I have installed MQ and I have created a queue manager. And inside the queue manager, I have created a local queue. And let's assume in the same server, there is a Java application and also there is a C programming application. So the problem is, the thing is, we have to establish a communication between Java application and C application via our MQ. So what Java application do is, it connects to the queue manager and put the message in the local queue, and from the same local queue, the C application connects and get the messages. So like it could be normal setup or it could be a point-to-point setup in the same server. So whatever it is. The thing is, here your application and the queue manager running on the same server. So it is a binding mode connectivity. Now the problem is, let's assume that this server got crashed due to some issue. Now whenever a server is got crashed, whatever the applications and whatever the services that are running on the server, everything goes down. So the queue manager is down, C application is down, Java application is down, everything is down due to one server issue. This is one biggest problem. Now number two, let's assume, so there is MQ is running on this server, and Java application is also running, C application is also running. So the thing is, let's assume due to MQ issue, for example, this MQ software, this MQ binaries are impacting other processes. Maybe like, in real time, what happens is, whenever some resource crunches happen, some process may be abnormally terminated. So let's assume our MQ is consuming really huge space, some huge memory, and due to that memory constraint, our Java application is not able to run. So Java application is also done due to memory issue in the MQ side. So problem lies on one server, but it is impacting other service in the same server. So this is another biggest problem with the binding mode, because as all the services are running on the same machine, there could be dependencies. They can conflict each other. They can fight with each other, so that one process may go down. So I'm not saying this will definitely happen, but chances are there. So when this is there, then running a real-time application, a real-time communication in binding mode is really a challenging. That is the reason we are going with the client mode connectivity.
Sir,
So in client
one
mode,
question.
yeah.
Sir, this if put is there, like Java program is there, and queue manager is there, the
Mhm.
C application is not there, then which connectivity it is?
It's also binding mode connectivity, no? See, the thing
Okay.
is, application is there and MQ server is there. This application connecting to the queue manager where it is running on the same server. So it's a binding mode connectivity. If you don't have the receiving application, it's a different issue.
Okay.
Okay. So the thing is, application and the application connecting a queue manager both are on the same server. So it's a binding mode connectivity. As simple as that.
In real time scenario, we are having this type of connectivity, so that's why.
Is it?
Yes, yes.
Then you are
In
having some
every bank,
problem.
sir, you will find this type of connectivity.
Acha. Okay. Okay. Fine. Then that's what I told you, right? The problem may happen or may not happen, but it's not a good architectural design. So the chances are high. If something gone wrong, if the server is down, that's it. Everything is down.
You are
So it's a problem.
absolutely right, sir. But RBI have designed their application that way, so that's every bank is abide to use that application.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. Now let's see the advantages with the client mode connectivity. So for example, in client mode connectivity, the applications and the queue manager both are segregated. Both will run on a different servers. So let's assume I have one server, say server one, and in this server, I have a queue manager and I have a local queue created. Fine. So in server one, we have installed MQ, created a queue manager, and created a local queue. Fine. Now in another server two, developers developed their Java application, and now the Java application is running fine. Now in another server, say server 3, C program is installed and it is also up and running fine. Now the thing is, Java application has to communicate to C program. So what Java will do is, Java application which is running on server 2, what it will do is, it will establish a connectivity to the queue manager which is running on server 1, and it will put a message in the local queue in a client mode. So how to establish a client mode? Yes, we are going to see that technically. Now, the C program which is running on server 3, what it will do is, it will connect to the local queue which is running on server 1, and it will take the message, so that message will be transported from Java application to C program via MQ which is running on server 1. So the thing is, if any problem with this server, the problem is going to restrict to till our MQ side only. Your applications are not going to be impacted. If there is any problem with server 3, this is going to impact only C application. It is not impacting either MQ or Java application. So these are not impacted. If any problem with server 2, only Java application is affecting. So the remaining two services, they are not affecting. So this is the advantage with the client mode. So you are segregating each other. Okay. So now in our right now in our lab setup, what we are going to do is, so in the Linux server, we already have a queue manager running in our VM, and I will take my Windows machine as a client. Let's assume some application is running on there. So from Windows machine where our application is running, we are going to connect to our queue manager running in the Linux server in a client mode connectivity, and we are going to establish the connectivity. So we are going to put the messages from the Windows machine to our Linux server, which is a MQ server. Okay. So let's see what is the technical implementation of client server architecture. So we need to understand about two things before the technical implementation of client server architecture. Number one, MQ client. Number two, MQ server. So we need to understand this. So right now, till today, we know that we have MQ software and we are going to install it on our MQ server. So where our in our Linux server. So but now in MQ, there are two kind of softwares. One is MQ client software, second is MQ server software. So let's see what is a MQ client software and what is a MQ server software. So the thing is, MQ server software we already know. So in the Linux server, we have installed RPM package, right? MQ series runtime, MQ series Java, MQ series server. So all these are MQ server related packages. For example, if I go to the server, so right now in this server, so we have installed some MQ packages, right? See, MQ series Java, MQ series FT agent, MQ series runtime, sample, JRV, SDK server. So all, see, when we install this package, now this software, this server will become MQ server software, because we have installed MQ series server package. As we have installed MQ series server, all the queue manager commands like DSP MQ, CRT MQM, end MQM, all these commands will work. If you remove this entire server package and if we install MQ series client package, then this machine will become MQ client machine. Okay, so I will tell you how to deal with the MQ client machine. But right now, this is a MQ server software because we have installed MQ series server package in this machine. So MQ Client is a software that is provided by IBM, which contains only client libraries. So in MQ Client, only client libraries will be there, and these libraries will be used to connect to a remote queue manager. So if we install MQ Client software in a server, then the application running in the server will be having the capability to establish a connection to the queue manager. So the thing is, if any application in your application server wants to connect to a queue manager running on a different machine, then that application server must have MQ client libraries installed. Then only that application will be having the ability to store the connection parameters, and with the help of the connection parameters, it is going to establish the connection. So if a server is installed with the MQ client software, it means the server does not have the capability of creating the queue managers and queues, because MQ client software contains only the client libraries. It does not having any server commands like DSP, MQ, CRT, MQM. These commands are not going to work in the MQ client installed server. So MQ Client is an open source software. So you can directly download it from the IBM website and you can use it for a real-time projects. So it is absolutely free of cost and you can download it from IBM website and you can use it in your real-time project. So that's it with the MQ Client. And in MQ Server, we already know about it. So if a server has installed MQ server binaries, then it is having the capability of creating the queue managers. MQ server software is not a open source. We must pay to IBM to get the license of MQ software. So the thing is, in this server, we have installed MQ series server, right? Only this is the package. For this, we have to pay to IBM. So remaining everything is free. Only MQ server is the cost. We have to pay money to IBM so that they will provide the appropriate MQ server software according to our requirement. But right now this is a trial version. So after 90 days, see, after 82 days, this is going to end. That's fine. So you can download the trial versions of MQ server software from IBM website, and that is what we have done. So, but this is a trial version and having only 90 days validity. So the trial version is having only 90 days validity. That's it. After 90 days, again you have to uninstall the existing software and you can freshly install the new trial software. Okay. So got a clarity about MQ client and MQ server. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, in the technical implementation, we are going to have two servers. So one Linux server
sorry,
where
I was on mute. Sir, in client server architecture, like the client can be on Windows and server can be on Linux. That will work, right, sir?
Yeah, definitely that will work. And for our lab also, we are going to do that.
Because I have not seen such kind of setup, so that's why I'm asking. Is there any special packages which we have to install prior moving with Windows to Linux, or the same package we can use?
You mean MQ packages?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, MQ packages always differ from operating system to operating system, right? So the thing is, if you
Okay.
want to install MQ in the Linux, you have to have the RPM packages. But if you want to install MQ in the AX MQ software is a different. You have to download that appropriate software.
Okay.
And if you want to install MQ in the Windows, there will be a executable file. You have to get that. It's a Windows MQ software. So for HP Unix, it's again different software. So MQ software is definitely different based on the operating system. Right now we are working on Linux operating system, but the commands are not going to change. CRT, MQM, so those technical commands are same and the architecture is same, but the software packages which we are going to install on the operating system, those makes the difference.
Okay.
Okay, so right now in our lab setup, I have my Windows machine that I'm going to use as a MQ client machine. So I will install MQ client. So I will show you how to install MQ in the Windows. Then MQ server, how to install that in Linux, we already know. We have already seen in the MQ installation part.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So the Linux server where MQ is installed and running, that is called MQ server. So this one we already know. In the Linux server, how to install MQ server software, done. We are pretty much aware. So you install MQ server software and all instructions are already provided for that. And we need to create a queue manager. We need to create a local queue inside the queue manager. So how to create a queue manager, how to create a local queue, we already know. Like we are starting the technical implementation. So in the MQ server, first of all, we need to have a queue manager. We need to have a local queue. Then we need to create a server connection channel in the MQ server. So this is the new thing we are learning. Till now, we know how to create a sender channel, how to create a receiver channel, how to create a cluster sender, how to create a cluster receiver channel. But today we are going to learn how to create a server connection channel, because a client must have a server connection channel to connect to IBM MQ in a client mode. Create a listener and then start it. So how to create a listener, how to start a listener, we are pretty much aware. And we need to set the authorization to the queue manager and the queue. So generally authorization, I will give you a deep dive into MQ security, but right now I will give you a basic overview how to set the authorization for this local queue, so that while clients try to connect to MQ, there would be no authorization issues. That I will give you a basic understand. But in the security, I will give you a deep dive of authorizations. Now in the Windows server where MQ client is running. Okay. So for MQ server, that's all pretty much requirements. So we need to have a MQ server software, a queue manager and a local queue. We need to create a server connection channel, then a listener, and we need to have the authorizations. Now in the Windows server where application is running, let's suppose in my Windows laptop, application is running and I want to treat that as a MQ client. So in my Windows machine, the things what I need to have is, I need to have MQ client software installation in Windows. So how to install MQ software in Windows, that I'm going to show you. Then we need to set an environment variable MQ server parameter. So this environment variable means we need to provide an instruction to operating system. So my Windows machine can understand, okay, so these are the instructions that I can connect to this queue manager and I can put the message in this local queue. So those parameters we are going to configure in the MQ server environment variable. So how to set this, I will show you. Now we can try to put and get the messages using AMQS put C and AMQS get C from our Windows machine. So in the MQ server, we already know about AMQS put program, AMQS get program. But AMQS put C, these binaries will be installed with the help when we install MQ client. MQ put C means MQ put in client mode. MQ get C means MQ get in client mode. These are client libraries. So now we need to take, okay, that's it. In client side, these are the three things we need to see. Number one, MQ client software in Windows. Then we need to set environment variable of MQ server. Then we can try to put, we have to use AMQS put C and AMQS get C for putting and getting the message in client mode. Now we need to take some precautions while testing this client server architecture. Number one, there must be no firewall issues and network issues between your Windows client and your MQ server. So whenever there is a firewall issue, definitely this Windows client cannot establish to this Linux server a communication. It is not going to establish. So we have to take care there should be no firewall issues. Now the MQ listener port should always open. So the thing is, in Linux server, in our MQ server, we are going to create a listener at a port, right? So this port always open in the server. So generally in the real time, we have to check with the firewall team that this listener should be open in the firewall level. But for this training purpose, our lab environment, I am going to completely switch off the firewall. But in real time, firewall will never switch off, guys. If you switch off the firewall, it means anyone can connect to server, anyone can do anything. So in real time, firewall won't be off, but in the firewall, they will apply a rule that this listener port is open. That's what they are going to do. So there must be a proper authentication, authorization, and permission should be set on this local queue for the client. So like in the security concept, we are going to discuss about this authentication and all. But right now, I will give you a like a basic understanding about the authorization in order to work this client server architecture in a proper way. Okay, so let's see. So first of all, I will go to the Linux server. I will set the MQ environment first. So I will install MQ server software, and we already know it. Like we already have the MQ server software installed in my machine. See MQ server, and we already have a queue manager called QM1. So let's use that. So queue manager is also created, and the local queue. So do we have any local queue in QM1? Let's see. Display QL. There are many, but I don't want many. Okay, there is no manual defined local queue. I will define a local queue. Define. Okay. Define queue local QL1. So now I have created a normal local queue in my queue manager. Now if I do display queue local QL1, now I can see QL1 perfect. It's a normal local queue. Done. Now we need to create a server connection channel. So creating a server connection channel is pretty simple. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me write down the things in a notepad. Control C. So the first step is going to be this is the first step. Now second step, third step, fourth step, and then fifth step. Now in the Windows server, done. Now these are the precautions. So the first precaution is going to be this. Okay, done. So first thing is we need to install MQ server software, and we already know about it. So I'm not going to give any instruction about it because we have a separate 1 hour session for this. Now we need to create a queue manager, and we need to create a local queue inside the queue manager. We pretty much aware how to create the queue manager. We know how to create a local queue. Done. Now we need to create a server connection channel. So for creating a server connection channel, the command is very simple. Define channel. So here we need to define a server connection channel. So define channel. Now give any name to the channel. So the channel I am giving, what is the name? So let's assume train, no train, different sound, right? Let's assume no, sphere again. Let's do something like suggest me one name here.
See, you can define, sir. SC, server connection.
Fine. So SC is my server connection channel name. That's it. I'm not doing anything. Only 2 letters of name. SC. You can give any name. Now, channel type is going to be SVRCon because we need to define a server connection channel. Done. As simple as that. Now I am executing the same command in my MQ server. So I go here, I execute like this. Done. Now channel is created. Now verify the channel using display command, display channel SC. So channel SC is a server connection channel which has been created. So it is having some parameters. Fine. As of now, you can forget them. So server connection channel has been created. Now we need to create a listener. So already I think there is a listener is running on it. Display ls status lstr1. Yes. In QM1 already lstr1 is running on a port number 1414 under the control of QMGR. Fine. So I don't think so. We need a command because you already know. So setting the authorization. So right now I'm not setting the authorization. As of now, I am ignoring this because when we don't set the authorization, I want to show you what is the error that a client is getting. So I want to show that error. For that, I am not setting any authorizations as of now. Okay, I am ignoring this part. So I will show you later how to set the authorization. Fine. Now let's come to the Windows server where our application is running. So we want to use it as a MQ client. So right now there is no MQ client software in my Windows machine. So I'm going to install the MQ client software. So the thing is, in the Windows machine, if I go to F drive, in the MQ software dumps, I have Windows MQ and I have 9.0.0.4 IBM MQC Windows 64. MQC means MQ client. It is just a client software, guys, nothing else. Okay. So if I click this, there is a folder called Windows. If I go to this Windows folder, there is a setup.exe file. So installing MQ in Windows is pretty simple. Double click the setup.exe. That's it. Click next, next, next. That's it. MQ will be installed. So installing MQ will be very simple in Windows. So right now, okay, it is asking to select a language. Okay, I'm selecting English. Yes.
Sir, how compatibility metrics are checked?
Between client and Windows, sorry, client and server.
Yes.
Simple. Alwaysly, your client can be at a higher version, and your Windows machine could be a lower version.
So you mean to
I will
say
show.
server should be MQ server should be on lower version, it can be okay, and client should be on higher side.
No, like it depends on the base version. So for example, right now I am installing version 9.0.0.4, right?
Okay.
The MQ server we have installed on the Linux, it is MQ 9.1. So version 9 can be compatible to version 9.1 MQ server, version 9.2 MQ server.
Okay, but how
here,
we can check this, sir, compatibilities?
there is no technical commands for that, but there is a IBM documentation. So if you go to google.com, IBM MQ client versus MQ server. So there is a IBM documentation for that. So
MQ client
there,
versus MQ server compatibilities.
let's see. I think it will show. So overview of client servers. Okay. If I go for 9.1. there must be table here in IBM documentation. Here it is referring about
Sir,
IBM
installing,
client.
check in installing and uninstalling.
Sorry?
There was a site. So you mean to say basically, sir, we have to check on Google which client and which servers are compatible.
Correct. But basically, for version 9 MQ servers, use version 9 MQ clients. Version 8 MQ servers, use version 8 MQ clients. Version 7 MQ servers, use version 7 MQ servers. So that's what we generally follow in the real time. It's like a blind recommendation. Okay. Here is a question. Are compatible with the previous version? Can connect to all queue managers. Okay,
Sir,
I think.
yeah, sir,
Go ahead.
client also same thing we have to follow. Like if we have installed in upgradation, if we have installed MQ8 client, then we have to uninstall MQ8 client and reinstall MQ9.
That is a recommendation, but not a mandatory. Because I'm damn sure MQ8 client will definitely connect to MQ9 connection. I'm sure on it. But the thing is,
So
right now
if
MQ8
I
is
want
the
to
outdated
upgrade,
version. Sorry?
if I want to upgrade, then
Which one? You want to upgrade MQ client from version 8 to version 9?
correct.
Simple. You can install MQ8, you can uninstall MQ8, and then you can install MQ9 client in your Windows machine. Done.
Sir, will that impact anything?
No, it won't impact because MQ client is going to have only the client libraries. It is not having any queue managers, right?
Right.
And before uninstalling MQ client, definitely you stop the connection from your application. That you definitely do.
Correct.
So there would be no impact. So installation of client, it's really a low impact activity. So if you are upgrading MQ server, then yes, there might be big impact because you have to shut down the queue managers for some time. You have to uninstall the base version and then you have to freshly install the latest base version. And then you have to start the queue managers with the latest binaries. It's a big one, but upgrading client, it's really low impacting change. It's not a big deal. It won't impact anything. You just have to stop your application connections that connects to MQ. That's it, nothing else.
In binding connection, both packages we have to install, server and MQ client.
In binding mode, no. In binding mode, when you install server, MQ server will be inbuilt having MQ client libraries like AMQS get, AMQS put will be already there, right? When you install MQ server software.
Okay.
So then you no need to install MQ client in binding mode. Why you need to install MQ client in the binding mode? No need.
Sir, but you mentioned like there are commands which are different for client. AMPS get C and AMPS get put C.
Correct.
So will that command work with server
No,
package
see,
also?
if your application is a binding mode, you directly use AMQS put and AMQS get. Why you need to use AMQS get C?
Okay.
See, AMQS put and AMQS get, those you are paying to IBM to get those commands installed in your machine, right?
Correct.
When you have those paid commands, why you go for free commands like AMQS get C and AMQS put C? You never go for that.
Okay. Okay.
That's it. So in the binding mode, no need of MQ client. MQ client never come into picture in the binding mode. MQ client come into picture in your client server setup. That's it.
Okay, sir. Got it. Like we can check on Google, right, sir? So we can proceed further, sir. I will check this.
Yeah. So here is the, I think this is a good documentation. Let me ping you. So follow this. It will give you the information. Okay. So now I am
Okay.
installing MQ client in my machine. So I'm next. Now accept the license agreement. Next. So installing MQ is the same guys in the real time also. So now while we install MQ in the Windows, there will be three options: typical, compact, and custom. Always go with the compact because no. Go with the typical because it will be installed with the most common features. So this is recommended, typical. Or if you want to customize according to your requirement, then you need to select a custom. Then it will ask you so many options, so you have to fill each and everything. So now I am selecting typical here. So click next. Now see, IBM installation summary. It is installing on the computer name called Mohan, and installation mode install. The name of the installation is going to be installation 1, and the top level folders. It means the installation directory is going to be C program files IBM MQ, and the data files. It means the working directory is going to be C program data and IBM MQ. So folder is IBM MQ, and it is going to install MQ Windows client, Java and .NET messaging and web services, and some development toolkit. So these are the three things which is going to install with our IBM MQ 9004 client setup. Now click install so that installation will
Which
start.
Java is, sir, which Java is, like used for this MQ?
You mean Java version?
Java version, correct?
There is no separate Java version for this, but with the MQ client itself, IBM already included the Java. Okay, so I am not really 100% sure what is the exact Java version that is come with MQ9, but that Java is going to be compatible with this MQ client version 9 because IBM will automatically includes it. So you no need to take care of
Sir,
any
but
prerequisite.
JRE it is installing or Java installing? JDK it is
Java,
installing.
Java.
No. In Java there are two types, right? Like JDK and JRE, runtime environment and uh, that compiled environment, something like that. So
For
it is
MQ,
installing
but
JRE or it is installing JDK.
for MQ it will install both. It will install JRE and it will install JDK both. See, for
Okay.
example, when we installing MQ server, if we see the MQ server packages, we have installed two Java packages, right? MQ series Java and MQ series JRE. So this is Java runtime environment and this is for JDK, Java development toolkit. Both will be installed for MQ.
Okay.
So for client also same case. Java means that is the combination of both JRE and JDK.
Okay. So it will not impact on existing Java versions, right, sir?
No, it won't. It won't. This Java will be utilized when you are executing particular MQ commands. That's it. It won't impact the other things. So for
Correct, sir.
example,
But
right now,
let's say now you are installing MQ client on client machine, and
mm-hmm,
my program is running on Java 8 version. Okay.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So if MQ is installing Java 9, will that
uh-huh.
impact on my program?
No, it won't impact. See, best example right now in my Windows machine, before installing MQ client, I have Java 1.8. It's a JDK build. Okay. So it's
Okay.
a independent Java application. It does not have any relation with the MQ. I have installed for a Kafka setup purpose. So now Java 1.8 is running on my machine. Now I'm installing IBM MQ client, which is installing both JRE and JDK, which is compatible for MQ client version 9. Definitely, it is not going to impact this existing Java version. So after installing this MQ, again I will execute the same command. You will get the same output. You won't get the different output. Okay,
Okay.
so let's see that now. So we are almost done. Now it is making primary at the end of installation. So generally in the Linux, it's our responsibility. We have to manually set MQ as the primary so that MQ commands will work. But when we install MQ Windows, it will automatically set as a primary installation. So that is what's happening now. So let's give a couple of minutes so that we are ready.
Sir, on Linux machine, we only have to replace MQ server with MQ client, and rest of the packages also we have to install, correct, sir?
Come again. In Linux server, we have to replace MQ server with the MQ client. And then what was your question?
And rest of the packages also we have to install, correct?
Rest of the package means?
At the back side, I can see the package name of the packages. So these all packages we have to install.
Correct. So we must have the runtime package, and we must have the JRE, we must have the SDK, and we need to have the MQ client. That's it. So this MQ series samples is not needed. Yeah, that's it. This FT process also not needed. This FT package I have installed for a different purpose around 2 days back. So FT package, you can forget about it. And Java JRE, they should be there. So MQ client, Java, JRE, runtime, server, and SDK. That's it for a client. So the only thing is you need to replace the server package with the client package, and additional packages, yes, you have to install.
Okay.
Okay. Now the installation has been completed successfully. So click finish. Now, okay. Now it is asking to prepare MQ wizard. So this is for Windows specific. So it will set up a service for MQ in the back end. So for that, this wizard will open. So click next. Now click finish. That's it, guys. So we are done. Now what I will do is I will close the command prompt in my Windows machine. Then I will reopen my command prompt. CMD, done. Now see, if I execute DSP MQ VER, now IBM MQ 9004 has been installed. Okay. Now the thing is, this 9004, is it a MQ client software or it's a MQ server software? Again, a confusion, right? So the thing is to understand that when you execute DSP-MQ, you will get something called DSP-MQ is a not recognized internal or external command. So in this mission, if we closely observe, DSP-MQ VER is working, but DSP-MQ is not working. It means damn sure it's a MQ client software. That's it. Because in MQ client, the queue manager related commands, they're not going to work. Okay. So now we have installed.
Monster.
Go ahead.
Sir, your user is added into MQM group. That is the reason you are able to run the client commands. Correct, sir?
Exactly. Correct.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay, MQ client software installation in Windows. Now this is completed. Now we need to set the environment variable for our MQ server. So for setting an environment variable in Windows, there is a command that is called set. Like in the line in the Unix operating system, we have export command to set the environment variable. In Windows, set is a command to set the environment variable. So just equal to export command in the Unix system. So the environment variable is MQ server. So set MQ server. So this is the environment variable we need to set. So right now, if I execute set MQ server command in my Windows machine, I can see that right now environment variable MQ server is not defined. Now we are going to define it. So the syntax is going to be like this. Set MQ server is equal to, you have to mention your server connection channel name in your MQ queue manager, then the protocol, TCP protocol, and then host name of your MQ server, and then the port number of the queue manager which you need to connect. So this is the syntax. So the example look like this. Set MQ server is equal to, so what is the server connection channel name we have created in the queue manager? SC, right? So SC, our server connection channel name, then slash TCP, then slash, we need to mention the host name where our MQ queue manager is running. So right now my MQ queue manager is running on a host called kafka1.training.com. So this is the host name, guys. Okay, you can use this host name or you can use the IP address. Okay, so right now I will do one thing. Right now in my mission, DNS has been set for my mission so that kafka1.training.com can be recognized by Windows client. But for your lab setup, DNS is not configured. So what I suggest you use the IP address of the host. So I will use I will also use the IP address of my mission where QM1 is running. So this is the IP address and I will use this. So here you can use host name or IP address, anything is fine. So I am using IP address and the port number. So the port number which is already running is 1414 in my QM1 queue manager. So this is the technical syntax of setting an MQ environment variable. Now I'm setting this, copy, command, enter. Done. Now successfully executed, no errors. Now if I execute set MQ server, now this will show you this is the MQ server environment variable which you have set. Okay. And before setting, when we execute this command, we were getting some information that environment variable not defined. But now we are getting an output what's your MQ environment variable. Fine. Now the MQ environment variable has been set. Now we need to try to put and get the messages. So the thing is, in MQ server side, we need to set the authorization. But right now for QM1, we have not set any authorizations. Okay. Now see, let's try to put and get the messages using AMQS putc and AMQS gets. So the syntax for AMQS put we already know. The same syntax we have to use AMQS putc also. It is like AMQS putc. So this command is already installed in this mission while we are installing MQ client in this mission because AMQS putc is a client library. So AMQS putc and give your queue local name in the queue manager and give your queue manager name. So that what this putc program, what this library will refer to is, it will refer to the environment variable MQ server and initially it will try to hit this queue manager on this port via this server connection channel as a TCP protocol. So which queue manager is running on this port number? QM1, so that it is going to establish the connection. So let's see that. Enter. Now see, put program started, but your connection, I mean your TCP connection is ended with the reason code 2035. So we are getting some error. So that 2035 means not authorized. Okay, see, we are very close. It means now the connection is getting established between our Windows client to our Linux server where QManage is running. But due to some security issues, due to some authorization issues, your connection is declined. It means we are in the right phase. Now, the thing is, I have already explained you, I have not set any authorization in my queue manager side and queue side. That is the reason we are facing this 2035. And in the real time for MQ admin, from every client, this is a common issue, guys. Like so many developers says, hey Mohan, like while I try to connect to the queue manager, I'm getting 2035. Can you rectify what it is? Now when I see this code 2035, it means it's a security issue. Now right now I also exactly don't know what is the exact security issue. What I will do is I will go to the QM1 logs, QM1 error log, and I will see, I will try to figure it out, that error. So I will go to var mqm queue managers QM1 errors directory, error log, we already know about it, ls minus lrt. Now I will open this file, first error log file, and I will go to the bottom of the file to see the latest error. If I do shift G, so that we will go inside it. So this is the error. See, entity del has insufficient authority to access the object QM1. So right now I have logged into my Windows machine as a Dell user. So the command prompt is also running as a Dell user. So our MQ queue manager identified, okay, some connection is hitting to me as a Dell user, but this Dell user does not have the access to connect to the QM1. And if you see the explanation, the specific entity, it means the Dell entity is not authorized to access the required object. The following requested permissions are not authorized, which is connect. It means Dell user does not have connect permission to connect to QM1 queue manager. This is the issue. Okay. So the thing is, we need to set the connect authorization for a Dell user. So to do that, first of all, we have to provide authorization to Dell user on a queue manager level, because we are getting the queue manager level issue now. So I will close the file. First of all, I will do Dell account. Okay. So the thing is, when we need to set the authorization for a particular user account, first of all, that service user account should be there in the server, in the MQ server. So I have an account called Dell user. So first of all, the first authorization we got is at queue manager level. So we need to set that. So to set that, we have to execute a MQ operating system level command that is called set MQR. This command is to set authorization on a particular queue manager or on a particular queue. So right now we got the issue on queue manager level, which is QM1. So I'm setting the authorization on QM1. So the command I'm giving is set MQR, and the syntax is going to be like this. So this is a operating system level command. It means we have to execute set MQR outside the queue manager. So take set MQR, and we have to use a flag called -m, which stands for which indicates a queue manager. So the queue manager name is QM1. It means the name of the queue manager is QM1, and we have to use another flag called T, which means the type of object. Here QM1 is a what type of object? It's a queue manager type of object. So -T, we have to give something called QMGR. It means now we are setting the authorization on a queue manager called QM1, which is of type QMGR, and then we have to give the principal -P, and our principal is Dell, because in the error logs we can see Dell entity does not have the insufficient authority. So we are setting the authorization for a Dell user on this type of queue manager, which having the name of QM1. And in the error log we have already seen connect permission was not there. So I am giving connect permission by passing a parameter called plus. Plus means we are granting the access, minus means we are revoking the access. Now I am giving connect permission by indicating something called plus. Hit enter. Now see set MQ auth command completed successfully. So this is the command which we can give in a queue manager level. So this is the first error. So I'm doing a copy paste of it. Done. Authorization. So queue manager level authorization is done. So if you want to verify if this authorization has been given correctly or not, there is a command called DSP MQ auth. It means to display the MQ authorizations. Now I want to display the MQ authorizations on QM1 queue manager, which is of type queue manager, for a principal called Dell. So for Dell principal, I want to see what are the authorizations. So right now we can see connect has the only authorization. Now if I want to remove this authorization, command is very simple. Okay, before that, let me note it down.
Sir, what is principal? Dell principal you are talking about?
Principal is a user. Like in the error logs, we can see that Dell user does not have the authorization, right? It means from the client, the connection is coming as a Dell user. So in real time, your application must be running with their specific service account, right? Application is running on with which service account. So with that service account only, connection will hit to MQ. Right now, my command prompt is running as a Dell user. That's why when I try to execute AMQ's FTSE program, connection is hitting as a Dell user. So that's what we see the error logs also. So if I go to where MQM queue managers QM1 errors, vi see our MQ queue manager is saying that Dell user does not have the authority. It means we have to provide the access to Dell user. So
Dell user in your machine, right, sir? not on this Linux machine.
Yes, Dell user is in my Windows machine, not on my Linux machine. It's a client user. It's a client user. It is not in our MQ server. It is on our client server.
Okay. Sir, any host entry has to be made
For what?
in etc/host?
No, not required. No, don't do
Not
that.
required. Oh.
Not required. Not required. So host entry needed for the DNS configuration. But here, for this connection, we are directly using the IP address, right? So host entry is not needed. Don't do that as of now.
Sir, but
Okay.
how my queue manager will get to know like the users are correct?
Come again. How your queue manager know?
Let's see on my machine, from my machine, Rahul machine, I am trying to send some data to QM like in the queues, okay, which is there on your machine, correct? So
Okay.
how your queue manager will get to know like Rahul is the correct user?
Your queue manager need not to know Rahul is the correct user. Why your queue manager should know Rahul is the correct user? The thing is, whatever the user, the connection comes from, the queue manager will definitely accept the connection and it will verify for that particular user authorizations are there or not. That's it.
Okay,
It will
got
not
it, sir.
verify.
Got it.
Understand?
Yes, yes.
Okay, fine. Now, where are we? Yeah. So if I, yeah. So if right now there is a connect permission, so but if I want to remove the connect permission, the command we have to use is, it's like the same, but instead of plus connect, just give minus connect, so that minus connect will be revoked for Dell user. See, now command completed successfully. Now if I execute DSP MQ auth, it will show nothing. See, right now Dell entity has nothing. It is not showing anything. Now again I'm giving done. Again I'm checking. Now see, it is showing connect permission. So this is how we can grant the authorization of a user at a queue manager level. So this is to grant connect authorization for Dell user. This is to display existing authorization for Dell user on queue manager level. Okay, let me mark it as on queue manager level. Fine. Okay, now we have got one error while application is trying to connect. Now we got 2035 at the MQ connection level. Now let's execute the same thing one more time, because application has to connect now. MQs put C, then your local queue name, your QM1 name. Now let's see what happens. Now see, again put program started. Now see some improvement. Target queue is QL1. Now we are entering inside queue manager. Now we are trying to hit QL1. So previously the connection itself got ended at the queue manager level, but now we are allowed inside the queue manager and we have targeted to QL1. But MQ open ended with the reason 2035. While this QL1 is getting opened, now we are again getting 2035. Again authorization issue. Now again I will go to the queue manager QM1 and I will see why I am getting 2035. Again application people saying that, hey Mohan, I am getting 2035 while I am getting while I am trying to connect to QL1. Now what I will do is, again I will go to queue manager address directory. I will open this error log file, go to the bottom. Now see, entity Dell has insufficient authority to access the object QL1. Previously it was having the access, sorry, it was having the insufficient authority to access QM1. Now for QM1 level there are no issues. Now there are issues while accessing QL1. It means we have some progress now. And in the explanation it is saying that specified entity not authorized to access the object QL1 and the permissions not authorized or put operation. It means put operation is not there for del user to put the message on QL1. That is the reason it's failing. Now I will grant this one also. So the command look like this. Now we are at Q level. So it will be like this. Set MQR minus MQM1. Now minus N flag will come. N means the name of the object. The name of the object is QL1, and QL1 is a what type of object? It's a Q. So minus T Q. So minus P for which principal? Del principal. What is the permission we are lacking? Put permission is not there, and I'm giving it. So this command is to grant put authorization for del user on Q level QL1. Okay, so I'm granting this. Control C. Now in the queue manager side, I will put this. Done. It's now completed successfully. Now if we want to see del user is having what kind of authorization on a QL1 queue level, DSP MQR minus MQM1 minus N QL1 minus PQ minus P del. So for del user, what are the authorizations you are having? I'm going to display them. Now right now del is having put authorization. Now let's guys, give me one moment, guys. I got just a courier. One moment, please. Anna, em peru? Paina, poi. Yeah, I'm back. So now I'm putting the messages AMKS put C using this command. See, now we have no issues. Now we have successfully connected. Now message 1 from my client, done. Message 2 from my client. Message 3 from my client, and ultimately the card depth must have been increased in QM1 of QL1. Display QL1 card depth. See, it's now 3. Also, I will put another message, message 4 from my client, done. Now see, it must be 4. See, it's now 4. It means now from our Windows client, we are able to successfully put the messages. Now let's try to get the messages. To get the message, we have to execute AMK's getC program QL1 QM1. What do you think, guys? Is this going to work or not?
No, it will not. You have to set get permission also.
Exactly. Right now we only have put permission on QL1. Now see, get program started, MQ open ended with the reason code 2035. Again, authorization issue. What is the exact authorization issue? We have to go to the queue manager. We need to see the logs. So, okay, we are all into the path. I will open the first log file. If I go to the bottom of the file, del has insufficient authority for QL1 and it is not having get permission. See, now how to grant the get authorization? Pretty simple. So this is to set MQR minus M QM1 minus N QL1 minus T Q minus P del plus get. That's it. So this is to grant get authorization for del user on Q level QL1. As simple as that. Now I will execute the same command in my MQ server. Done. Now if I do, I will verify this using DSP MQR. DSP MQ minus MQM1 minus NQL1 minus TQ minus P del. That's it. Now see, del user on QL1, it is having both get permission and also put permission. So definitely when we executed AMK's getC program, now see, we got all the messages. Now the card depth of QL1 must be 0. Display QL1 card depth. See, it's now 0 because we have consumed the messages. right? Now here let me show you one thing. Here the thing is, we have created the server connection channel in the queue manager at step number 3, but we have not started the server connection channel, correct? The thing is, server connection channel we no need to start, and although if you try to start, it won't start, because server connection channel will respond to the application connection only. If any active connection is there, then only server connection channel will be in running status. For example, right now there is no active connection from the client, and if I go to the queue manager, if I check the display chs chl1 command, sorry, sc command, which is our server connection channel, right now the status is inactive. Now let me try to establish a connection using AMQ's putc program. Now one connection is there, correct? Now see, display chs sc. Now see the server connection channel status, it is running from this source. Now if the connection got disconnected, done, again it will be automatically inactive. See, now status not found. If you try to start the channel, server connection channel, it won't start. Now your request is accepted, but if you see the display chs sc, see status not found. So server connection channel always responds to your application connection only. It will never respond to your start and start command. Okay, so that's what the client server architecture is, as simple as that. Understand, guys? So with this, our client server architecture is also completed. Now the pending tasks are: security is pending. Out of security, we have already seen some base concepts of authorization. Fine. Now, what are the pending things? It is completed, right? And okay, this is fine. This is keeps going on. Okay, and then uninstallation pending, and I think backup and restore is also pending. Fine. So fine, guys. So tomorrow we are going to start with the security, and then we'll see the backup and restore, and then the uninstallation of MQ finally. Fine.
Sir, some questions are there.
Go ahead.
Sir, server connection channel and client server connection channel both are different.
Sorry.
While you were letting us know in first session about the channel details, you said there are 6 type of channels: sender, receiver, server connection. Sorry.
You were asking about the client connection channel.
Yeah.
So client connection channel is completely different. There is a small, there is a change between server connection channel and client connection. Like both will be used for the same purpose. Like server connection channel is also to establish a connection from client to server, and client connection channel is also to establish a connection from your client to your server. But the difference is going to be, for example, let me open it.
Sir, where that lies, but on client side?
No, on the queue manager side only.
Okay.
So the thing is, for example, here we have a queue manager in a server, and this is our client running on a different server. Now, if I want to establish a connection from client to server in the queue manager side, what we have done is we have created a server connection channel.
Server connection. Correct.
So in the client side, in MQ server environment variable, we have established a connection to this queue manager via this server connection channel. All right.
Correct.
Now, for example, there is another queue manager running in a different server. So let's assume this is QM1, and let's assume the red one is a QM2 queue manager. Now the thing is, if the same client wants to connect to the QM2, for example, in QM2 there is another QL called QL2 is running. Now in QM1 there is a QL called QL1 is running. So now we have already seen this scenario with the help of setting authorizations and all. Now if the same client wants to connect to QM2, the thing is, in the client we have the environment variable pointing to this queue manager via this server connection channel for this IP address. Now we have to update our MQ server environment variable. Like we have to remove this connection. We have to remove the existing MQ server environment variable. Now we have to create MQ environment variable pointing to this machine with the help of server connection channel. So the thing is, when you use a server connection channel, a client can connect to only one queue manager at a time. Like it can connect to either this or it can connect to either this, but not to the both at the same time, because that is the limitation in the server connection channel. Okay, fine.
Sir, you cannot connect to two queue managers at the same time?
From an external client via server connection channel, you can connect to only one queue manager at a time. You can't connect to two queue managers from your external
No,
client.
your voice is not coming properly, sir. Sorry.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Okay. So with a server connection channel, with the help of MQ server environment variable, you can connect to only one queue manager at a time. You cannot connect to more than one queue manager at the same time. This is a limitation in the server connection channel. Okay.
Sir, let's say there are two queue managers, which are on different servers, and my client is talking with two different servers. So it is not possible, you are saying?
No, it is possible. It is possible. The thing is, with the help of server connection channel, that is not possible. But with the help of client connection channel, that is possible. That's what I mean to say.
Okay, got it, sir. Got it.
Okay. So client connection channel should be used for that. Like if you have one client that has to be connected to two queue managers running on two different servers at the same time, then you must go with the client connection channel, because with the help of server connection channel, one queue manager at one time. That's it. If you want to connect to the second queue manager, you have to forget about the first connection. You have to establish a new connection to the queue manager. So one connection, one time with the help of server connection channel. But if you want to connect to more than one queue manager at the same time, then you must go for the client connection channel. And for the client connection establishing, there is a procedure. Do I have the documentation for that? But using, like in real time, 90% of the cases, one connection, like one client connects to one server only. So that is the reason we mainly concentrate on the server connections. Hold on.
Okay,
Where is it?
sir, but in my environment, I'm having this kind of setup.
Yeah. That will be there. 1 second. I have something. Hold on. I have some documentation for sure. If I go to in E drive, yeah, box HCL, MQ. There must be something called MQ client and server testing. Not this. Okay, let me open this. Fine. One connection to this. Okay, so I think I have some documentation for this client server connection for with the help of client channel. I will share the document with you. Okay, so we have to do some additional configurations. That's it. But where is that? Mm, mm, Okay, so I will figure out that and I will share. something here.
Sir, environmental variable are only set with the help of set command only, or we can
Yes,
use
in Windows.
that advanced option in Windows.
Which advanced option?
If you click on this PC, right click on this PC.
Okay.
No. This PC, left hand side, you can see the icon, right? This PC. Yeah. Click
All
on
right.
that.
All right.
Properties.
Okay.
So there is an advanced option in which you can define advanced system settings, right side,
Okay.
environmental variable at the bottom.
So see, okay, this one you're asking. So the thing is, this environment variable this is for the permanent purpose. The one what we are doing is this is for a temporary purpose. So for example, right now, what comment from closed? How come? Oh no, it is there. So right now in the comment prompt, if I do set MQ server, right now I can see the environment variable. But the thing is, if I close this Windows machine and if I open again, if I execute set MQ server, see this environment variable gone. So when you are sitting in the command prompt like this is for temporary purpose. But if you want to put it on a permanent basis, generally in the real time we put in the clients on a permanent basis. Then you have to go to the environment variable option. So you have to go here, click on the environment variable. Then you need to add a new environment variable, and the variable name is set MQ server. Sorry, MQ server, and the variable value is going to be where is it? Like this. Control C, this, and then click OK. That's it. Now,
Sir,
now
in
see,
both we have to define system variable and
no. Only one is enough. This is for okay, if you want to permanent, go with this option. If you want a temporary purpose, directly go with the command prompt.
okay. But from here also we can set, right?
Yes, we can definitely set. And this is the
Okay.
permanent. This is the permanent solution. It's for permanent fix.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So yeah, that's all with the client server. And for your clients, this client connection channel, I am sure I'm definitely having some documents somewhere. I will set for it. I will share that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So that's all for today. We'll meet tomorrow at 11 a.m. IST. Sorry, 10 a.m. IST.
Sir, you have unset the firewall also, na? Here.
Yeah. I have unset the firewall also. So the thing is, good question. To unset the firewall, thing is very simple. Switch to root user. So I'm into root user, right? So there is a command called systemctl status firewall D, so that it will display the status of firewall D server in my Linux server. Right now, it is inactive, dead. So generally, how it would be is by default it is running like systemctl start firewall D. Now I am starting firewall D service as a system unit. Now if I check the status of the firewall D, now see it's active, running. So if you find in our system it is active, you have to kill the firewall like this. As a root user, systemctl stop firewall D, so that firewall will be stopped. Done. Now see, status is inactive, dead. So you have to use this command for your lab setup, but never execute this command in the real time, guys. This is dangerous. Okay, for your lab setup, you can stop the firewall. So I will include this. So what I will do is, I will do this, and this is for our lab purpose only, not in real time. Okay. So I will share this document with you. Okay, fine.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Yes,
Fine.
sir.
Okay, sure, guys. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Bye.